Oh, welcome back, everyone, to the Brain Soul Success Show. Again, you're in for a real treat. I am here with my friend Carla Archer. She's an online business guide, and she helps entrepreneurs guide them with their mindset, their marketing skills, their tools, and their strategies to support effectively learning how to market your business on social media platforms, increasing your brand awareness, customer engagement and making more sales. And through that analytical empath perspective, Carla's so good at this, you guys. Carla fills the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. And she is just like your trusted friend, when it comes to that entrepreneurial journey, because she's been on it. And she also has some insights into network marketing. So if you're a network marketer out there and you've tried network several companies, maybe you haven't succeeded, she's got some insights for you there as well. And I'm super excited to have you with me today, Carla. So welcome to the Brain Soul Success Show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It is an absolute honor and a pleasure to be here today and to have met you, Louise, just recently. We've really formed a great connection. We feel like we're really aligned, and I'm grateful to be here with your audience as well.
Yeah, it's really, really awesome. So tell us how you even became an online business guide. How did you even get into this space of working with entrepreneurs?
Well, over 6 years ago, I was a fitness instructor, and a friend of mine had come to me and said, "Have you ever heard of this technology? It can help you with more endurance and recovery and energy during your classes." And I said, "No, I had not, but tell me about it because that's definitely of interest to me." And that's where my journey began, actually with a pair of socks, believe it or not. And from there, I had no idea what it could look like to grow a business. I'd never been in network marketing before. I was never an entrepreneur. I had a job before I retired. And I said, yes, I said, I'm going to take a look at this because there was something inside of me that said, I know you don't know what you're doing, but you need to do this anyways. And I just said, okay, let's do it. So that's where I began my entrepreneurial journey. And it really was in person most of the time because this company was new in my demographics. And I decided that if I was going to do this, I was going to get in the car and drive all over the place and talk to people about this product because I really felt there was something here. And that was going really well. So I was doing lots of trade shows. I was booking into events and conferences. And then, as we know it, life changed for all of us. And I had been hearing about the online space, knowing that it was probably a really good thing to look at. But because my calendar was filling and then my team was building, my attention was otherwise. So when things shifted for me and everything off of my calendar fell off, I realized that it was sort of a do or die situation for me to figure out the online space for my business so that I could continue to share the message and to serve people. So that's how I ended up online, not necessarily by choice, but as a result of necessity.
Okay, so kind of through COVID then too, you ended
Yeah.
up going online because prior to that, and this company that you work with, I know they have they work with like really like a neurological kind of technology, right? It's a
Yeah.
patch. And that's what you're referring to. And you were doing that, it sounds like, in person at trade shows and sharing all of that technology with people. And then COVID hit and you needed to learn the online space.
Yes, that's exactly right. And we were growing into attending at conventions and speaking and different athletic shows and so it was really going very well. And then everything switched, which was good in the end. Sometimes things happen in life and you wonder, oh darn, why is that happening? But in the end, it ends up being the best thing for you.
Yes, because it's not only do you do these patches and help people with optimizing, their brain, and I want you to talk about that too, but you also now are helping entrepreneurs online. So it just moved into something bigger and better for you.
Yeah, it did. And when I came to the online space, I looked at my organization and a lot of the members in my organization. And I also thought to myself, there's got to be other people out there who are like me, who have had life shift for them and showed up in this online space. And I didn't feel at that time that I had enough knowledge about how to grow a business on social media to be a coach. But I thought I could be a guide because I'm the kind of person, if I learn something, my first thought in my mind is, I need to teach somebody. I need to tell this to somebody and share with them what they could possibly do. And so that's how I got started as the online business guide, just as somebody that people could turn to say, hey, what are you doing in this situation? Or sharing what I've learned with them, and supporting them in a variety of different ways.
I like that online business guy. That's really, really beautiful. And so now tell us about the EcoZone, that super patch, because you as a personal trainer grab that for optimizing your training, right?
Yes, absolutely. So it's a wearable neurological technology. It is drug free and it uses tactile stimulation, which means your skin surface. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like a QR code for your brain. It's a little patch. It's made
Cool.
from medical grade adhesive and it has a pattern embedded into it. So when it touches your skin surface, it uses your nervous system to relay that change of messaging or performance to your brain, and then your body receives that message and it acts accordingly, and not in such a way that, don't think robotically like it's a control. It
Mm-hmm.
just optimizes how your nervous system and your body could be working for you, and your brain a little bit too. Of course, your brain, because everything goes through your brain, right? Your brain manages every system inside of your body. The nervous system is what helps to relay to the brain what is going on within your body. So we approach it from a little bit of a different standpoint where we are using the nervous system to be able to do that.
Oh, see, I love all that stuff. You know that.
Mm, I
You
know.
know, like I've been in this world for a long time, and I have other kinds of little patches and certain products, and and there's all kinds of wonderful, wonderful things out there. And I always say different strokes for different folks. So we're all going to resonate with something that works for you, you know
Absolutely.
and
It,
that's the fun part of this. So tell us about that network marketing journey. I mean, again, I remember being in network marketing companies, and what I would see, Carla, is some people could be super successful and there were a few people again at the top, and everyone else was selling products, and they were trying to build a team of people helping them, and that was not as easy as it was talked about, I guess, or that you thought.
yeah.
And so how does that all work? You're in that space. Tell us about that.
Well, it's so very true. Network marketing has been around for a number of years, and the industry is growing and evolving, and the languaging is changing. But there's no doubt that there aren't as many people who are seeing success as we would like to see in this industry, because it is a very viable industry to be a part of. It allows you time and financial freedom, the flexibility to work from wherever you want to, and to be able to serve people the way that you really want to and create the brand of yourself. But what
Mhm.
happens is about 55%, they say, of network marketers are actually selling the wrong product. It's not something that they really truly feel aligned with. And when we're not aligned with what it is we're representing, right there, we've already created a struggle to show up, to be consistent, to take action inside of our business. They say that, the percentage is about 1 to 3% of people are making a lot of money, and 95% of network marketers are making between $0 to $200 a month, many of which aren't even covering their auto ship.
Mm.
So that in of itself is a big indicator of, okay, there's something not quite working right here. Now,
Mhm.
I remember coming into network marketing and being coachable and open, but I'm an analytic too. So I'm a little bit, I like to evaluate what's going on. I'm not that person who just really takes super action right away. I need to process a little and then watch out, because here I come. And I
Mhm.
saw that a lot of the languaging was very hyper take action kind of people to really create momentum. And the rest of us were kind of left standing around going, okay, what just happened? What do we do now? If somebody, I always said, if somebody would just give me the ABCs, I'm really good at following direction. I just need somebody to tell me, like, lay it out for me what I need to do here exactly. We'd go to, conferences and events and listen to big gurus and speakers, and you'd leave feeling all rah, which was great. But
Mhm.
you would leave without a plan, an actionable plan. And so my discovery was, okay, how do I figure out what is really necessary to do on a daily basis inside of my business? And that's where I really started to discover that so much of what we do
Mhm.
involves our mindset and our personal growth and development.
Mhm.
because we come into this industry with preconceived notions of our childhood, or our parents saying, don't ask for money, don't bother me, don't ask for that again, you don't need that, we can't afford it. So what's happening in our adult brain is when we
Mhm.
go to ask people if they want to buy something, we're thinking all those thoughts. Also, most of us have it ingrained in our mind that we're not salespeople. Most people say, I'm not a salesperson, nor was I. Or we've seen movies where we've seen,
Uh,
they make the salesperson out to be that sleazy person, and that's the last person we want to be.
mhm.
So when we're able to discover, and great news for everyone, there is a way to discover how to be very aligned with the products and services that you sell, and to show up in a way that you feel comfortable with yourself, and that you are a decent human being and can serve other people without having to be pushy or spammy. And that's
Mhm.
an alignment marketing style. So that's what I teach inside of my online business guide, what I offer for support for my community, to show them that there is a way. There are
Mhm.
processes that you can put into action, and that it's important for you to take a look at yourself and what's going on for you, as much as it is the systems that you're choosing. Most people will head out of the gate and go, I need to get a website. And then they don't realize, well, there's a lot more to having a website, such as driving traffic. And how will you drive traffic if you don't want to talk to anybody? You don't want to ask any questions, build relationships. So, it all kind of crumbles apart. And then they say, well, it doesn't work. And oftentimes it's not so much that the system doesn't work, it's that we don't know how to use the system properly.
Of
And
course. Yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense. Absolutely. And then I believe in connection. So
yes,
like I love this. So connection equals currency is what I was
absolutely.
taught. And so I mean I would literally like not be I'd be on the phone all the time. I'd never sleep. That's just how much I love connection. So that's how I really built. It
Mm-hmm.
was results, getting good results with people, but connecting.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so important.
Yeah.
It's about relationships, because the
Mhm.
long-term relationships are, as you said, connection is currency. What happens for many people, though, even just the idea of connecting with somebody is paralyzing for them. And so when we can take a look at what's happening for them from that mindset perspective,
Mhm.
from, past traumas, beliefs, and really dig into that, gosh, once you have some of that broken apart and you've taken a look at it and you've acknowledged it, you'll see yourself start to catapult forward. And I like that the messaging is changing inside
Mhm.
of the industry to really address that. Um, I think it's a great industry because personal development is key. I remember having, a government job, and we have an HR thing once every quarter, if that, or once a year, to work on your personal development. Whereas inside of this industry, it's really a key component of your success inside of a business.
Absolutely. I always say the inner work reflects in the outer results.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And so we're very aligned there. You and I are really on the same page there for sure. I mean, that's what I do. That's what I found. I found
Right.
that all of the business stuff that we took, and I have lots of clients like this, who took a lot of classes and didn't have success in their business. And when we started releasing ancestral trauma that gets stuck in the spaces of the brain and really working on clearing out that, working on the mindset, but more than mindset, it was clearing trauma,
Yes.
even ancestral trauma. And then it opens up the space. I call the spaces in the brain is where all that's held. And when that's opened up, now you're creative again. Now you can move forward. Now you can stay more positive. Now those little like voices don't come in, and you can really kind of go and move forward. And I just love that. And I know that, on our journeys, we all have places where got stuck, and I like to always ask Carla about, where was that in your life where you had a lot of challenges that did affect your either brain power or your spiritual growth?
Well, it's interesting because I made a decision that if I was going to create the success in my business that I really wanted, it was going to take a deep dive into what was really going on for me. And I knew there was something there, but I just wasn't really sure what it was. And then I always felt like I just wasn't enough. I just wasn't enough, or I was a bother. And I had that really hanging around me for a while. And I was in one class one day listening to something. And afterwards, I just had this this overcoming feeling of myself, I was born breech. And it was a memory back to that, going, what did part of the message didn't you get? Why were you not paying attention? All of those things. And it took me right back to that place and space. I was really surprised. But
Yes.
we were going deep. So I knew I was really on the path to discovery. And afterwards, going onto the internet and doing some searching, those were common attributes for somebody who has been born breech, to have those
Interesting.
feelings.
Uh-huh.
And afterwards, I'm even got a little bit of shivers talking about it.
Mhm.
But the release from knowing that that's where the trauma came, those deep-seated beliefs,
Mhm.
really just completely changed how I was showing up, because I allowed myself to forgive myself. I had a conversation with my mom, and she says, "Oh my God, it wasn't you. I was so nervous about having a baby that, I kind of,
Uh-huh.
I probably caused it, or
Mhm.
however." And she said, it wasn't you. And I said, yeah, I understand that now, that I was paying attention. It wasn't that I just missed something and that I was such a bother, because, that causes a little bit more complications for people. And being able to just kind of shed that belief really changed things for me. So that was a pivotal moment for me in my discovery.
Oh, that's really awesome. I love how you got that download. I do clear womb stuff a lot for people.
Mm, yes.
I'm surprised too how much that comes up. But it's not always about breach. It could be anything. It's the mother's emotions,
Right.
you know. But that's really so that was a pivotal moment. So then did you feel more confident after that, after you like forgave yourself and went through that?
Oh my gosh, so much more so. That's when I really started showing up as the person that I knew I am, and
Mhm.
who I was growing into becoming, because I dropped that. I dropped that cape on the ground, or that I unchained that ball from my ankle, and I just kept walking forward. And that belief was gone. It wasn't crippling me anymore to be able to create the business that I wanted to, and to be able to show up the way I knew was inside of me. I was like, I wrote that inside of my chapter in this book, The Power of Yes. And it's how network marketing creates dream lives. And it's a compilation book. So whether you're a network marketer, or you're in another business, or you just want a great read to hear, why do people explore network marketing? I shared that inside of it, that I knew that there was greatness inside of me. I knew there was my voice inside of me. I just couldn't get her out. And
Mhm.
until that moment, that's when she really was like, okay, I'm here. I'm ready to go.
Oh, that's really awesome. So that was a pivotal moment for you.
Very pivotal.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you do have a spiritual, beautiful, soulful energy. So I'm curious about that too. Give us that journey. How did you
Yeah.
do you have a spiritual, do you have a belief, not necessarily religious belief, but just, that path that you've been on, that journey you've been on certainly has helped you arrive to where you are today.
Yeah.
Give us some insight into that too, Carla.
Well, we were just talking about my lovely mother, and really, I attribute so much of who I am to her, because she was a registered nurse for her career.
Mhm.
And when it wasn't commonplace, she decided that she was going to start to learn more about energetic healing. And she had always been the kind of person who looked for homeopathic remedies. We ate really well, we understood nutrition. And when she started to explore energy work and the mind body soul connection, of course, as a high school student, I thought it was a little strange, but I would participate in what she was doing to be her practice person. But I really grew to appreciate what she was doing, and how she taught us to self heal and to self manage. And through her examples, it was just her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Mom.
Oh, awesome.
She's in her 70s, and she continues to grow. She continues to learn and to participate with her community through therapeutic touch. And she really has been an inspiration for me to connect and, I can be grounded and connected without having to be, you know, uh, however, I don't have to choose to look like I do that all the time. It's not important. I can be an entrepreneur the way that I want to be. I can show up in my world, in my space, the way that I choose to, still maintaining posture in those beliefs. And that to me has been a true gift.
So you had some awesome upbringing there. Yeah. So
I
happy
do.
birthday, Mom.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's really, that's really, really exciting. That's awesome. Yeah. So when you're not working and you're not, helping other entrepreneurs, what do you like to do in your free time?
I love to hike. I've recently purchased a property in California and spend the winters there. And I absolutely love to hike in the hills and just explore the desert. It brings me great joy. I love to golf and I love to cook. I know when I'm on the cusp of something very creative that I'm orchestrating in my mind, I find myself in the kitchen and I have about 6 things that I'm cooking at one time. And I know that there's something very inspiring coming down the road when that happens.
Oh, that's awesome. Your family's so blessed.
Yeah.
You're creating in the kitchen. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And how do you keep your brain healthy?
I keep my brain healthy with exercise, coming from a fitness background. And again, I attribute that to my mom. She used to take me to her workout classes with her. And from a young age, I always wanted to be a fitness instructor. So I enjoy it. It's not work for me, it's a pleasure. So fitness is a really important part for that. I drink water, I eat healthily, I meditate, I practice gratitude. I use vibrational frequencies. I use technology, as I was talking about before. So, and now that once you start practicing that, you draw an awareness. So you can tell when your brain or your mental health isn't quite where it typically is, and when it's time to take a look and just see, okay, what do we need to do today to self-support?
Right. So you ask good questions of yourself, I can tell.
I do
What,
now. Yes,
yes.
it's been a learning process, but yes, I do
Mhm.
now.
Yeah, because it is that self-talk that matters,
So
right? It's
important.
what we're telling ourselves. That's the mindset piece. If you were going to leave us with like a tip on mindset, what would that be?
My best tip on mindset is to, know that it is a piece of everything that we do. Don't discount it as something that maybe is a bother or maybe is not the run of the mill conversation. To know that, our body, mind, and spirit are all connected, and it's important to work on your mindset. I'm also a golfer. I love to golf, as I mentioned, and I really see how important your mindset is to the game of golf. Like
Sure.
50% or less is technique, but more than that is your mindset. And
Mhm.
so don't discount the time. Don't feel like time is wasted on spending time working on your mindset opposed to maybe building out something for your business or doing something other that feels like it's tangible and constructive, because the work you do on your mindset will pay you tenfold. I do believe that's my experience.
That's your experience. That's awesome. And I love how you apply it in the game of golf too. You're right. That makes so much sense. All
Mm-hmm.
all
Everything,
sports.
everything.
All
Yeah.
sports, right?
I'm
You
often
know,
golfing thinking golf is so much like business. Like, there's so much about it. It's your mindset, it's technique, it's leaving the whatever shot, whatever happened at that hole, celebrate it, analyze it, move on to the next one and keep going. It really has to have that kind of mindset. They're very parallel.
yes, yes. I love it. I love sports for that reason.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. All of that. It just is really, really, really fun. Well, this has been amazingly delightful. You are awesome. And so I know you also have a free opt-in for everybody here. It's that finding inner peace, you because that's what you also stand for, right? Finding that inner peace is partly your journey too.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. And thank you so much for having me here today. And because of my mom and how she raised us and my belief system, as soon as I saw you, Louise, I knew. I was like, oh my gosh, she's speaking my language. And I just love your energy and your personality. So thank you for having me here today.
Oh, you're
And
welcome.
and yes, I would love to share, my experience, some tips and some mindset work and some strategies that you can use to find inner peace. So I share 6 different ways inside of my ebook that
Mhm.
you can simply implement into your daily life, whether it's your work or just your daily routine, to help to support you. Because when you develop tools and skills to self support, limiting beliefs and obstacles are going to be showing up in our lives all the time. It's a
Right.
matter of how you're able to self support and to guide yourself through that. So if you fall off that horse, you can get on quicker and start to ride again. I had a coach who one time said to me, Carla, you can be pitiful or you can be powerful, but you can't be both. And that's a quote. I apologize. I don't know who said that. Do you know,
Yeah.
Louise? Yeah, you're shaking your head like you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just came to mind. So, and to me, that really stuck because I had a choice to decide how was I going to spend my time? How much time was I going to allow myself to remain feeling pity for myself, or was I going to have a moment, give myself a hug, love myself, and
Mhm.
then decide how I could move forward? And that has been incredibly empowering for me, both in life and in business. So I share some of those tips inside of my ebook.
Oh, that's great. That is awesome. So you guys want to definitely get that ebook. We'll post the link here for all of you. And Carla, again, thank you so much for being with us today. This has been absolutely delightful. Great tips. You're doing such great work in the world. Check out Carla's Facebook group too. We'll also put that
Well,
in
thank
the
you.
in the links here for you because she is your online business guide. Don't we all need a guide? Every day it's like, okay, who can I call?
Yes.
I mean, it's like sometimes there's just different things that we're working on in our business and needing to reach out to somebody and get some help. So again, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for being with us today. And everyone, remember, follow your heart, but take your brain with you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Carla.